What is up, y'all? And welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I am your host, Robert, and what's that? Robert doing another Ranking of Kings solo discussion. Yeah, for those of y'all that might have been following, so when Ranking of Kings first came out, I was trying to do weekly videos like this, but between my normal day life, being a dad, and the podcast and stuff, whatever, I couldn't keep up with the week to week grind. But, I still talked about it on my podcast every week. But we are currently in the middle of a slight winter storm here in Texas. So my work is closed for the day, school's closed for the day for the kids. So what better time to snuggle up and get cozy with some Ranking of Kings. And what a amazing episode to drop on a day where I am home and I can watch it during the day, and it's not like at the tail end of the night after I've worked and done basketball practice and stuff with the kids. So yeah, so let's just go and just dive right in. I'm so happy to be able to talk about this episode because this show, y'all, it just continues to build and expand the world. It's like they've been doing that, but this show just continues to grow and expand and give more context to these characters. Because at the end of last episode, with King Dasha invading Boji them's kingdom, and the last thing he said was the main person he was there to take care of was Moranjo. And of course, everybody's like, a lot of people were like, who is Moranjo? But Boji's like thinking like, that name sounds familiar. And we get a flashback of Boji with his mother. And we learn that Moranjo, which I guess we could kind of have put together that she might have had something to do with the mother dying, especially because she was the one that was so heavily pushing for King Bos to find another woman and to have another child. Because of Boji's mom, with them being giants, they can only bear one child. And so we see this battle, this slaughter, I guess is the best way I can say it, where Moranjo, seemingly still in her full human form, riding on a purple dragon, she commands some forces in the distance to launch these giant arrows. Because at the time, Boji's mother is leaning over him, like protecting him from the bombardment of arrows. But of course, Boji's mom ends up dying in the process, and Moranjo seems to have gotten betrayed because she is also hit with some of these arrows off of her dragon, and we see what looks like the foot of the red demon that came out of Bos back in episode, I believe, 2. So we get that brief flashback, but man, it was some heavy stuff as Boji begins to recall who Moranjo is. And then from there we get another you think one sad backstory is enough for this series in one episode, but no, we're gonna give you another sad backstory. So King Dasha ends up telling Boji that he is going to take Gigan back to the underworld, and so as a prisoner, because he's basically because he did some bad things. He's a traitor or whatever. And of course, I was like, why? So we get this flashback of basically we learned that don't know how long ago, but at some point in the past, between King Dasher was a king, him, his brother Despa, and another brother of theirs, which I can't tell if that other brother is Oaken. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, I think that their other brother did end up becoming Oaken, because a couple episodes ago when we got to see what Oaken looked like before he turned into what he is now, that is what seems to be that this third brother. But anywho, apparently they were joining forces and hiring mercenaries to take down their father. For don't get 100% context of like why, but in that event they ended up hiring Gagan to be on their side, but during the war or whatever that they were embroiled in, they were going against Gagan's people, like people of his own kind, his own race. And there was a scene where there was a small child from Gagan's race that they were just beating brutally or whatever just to draw the enemy forces there and to trap them. And then they trapped them. They just started slaughtering them. And of course, Gagan, he's like, in his, you just see him torn as he's watching his people get decimated. And then he just revolted and he just like started destroying lots of King Desha's. Well, I guess like I said, he wasn't a king at the time, but you get my point. He started attacking a lot of their people, or whatever. But they Desha them ended up subduing Gagan, but as retribution, just to keep their people's morale up or whatever, he ended up slaughtering the child right there in front of Gagan. And that was some brutal stuff, man, because I didn't think that. Part of me was thinking, okay, he's not going to do it. It's a kid. But no, he just slit his throat just right there. And it's like, yo, the lengths he is willing to go through to get at whatever was going on with their dad is freaking crazy. But of course, Gagan, remembering all this stuff, whatever, him and King Desha starts to run towards each other, and we get this freaking amazing moment because King Desha is readying a lightning bolt and getting ready to throw it, and we have our boy Bojji come running in with his sword needle, and he jumps in between and blocks the lightning attack. And of course, everybody is like, huh? What is going on? And I just love just like what's his name? Kage and Desha's facial reaction, just like what? Just so good. Just seeing just our boy Bojji just come through and just like no, like he Shanks. Bojji is here to stop the war. I wish I could Photoshop. Show Bojji show up in Marineford. But anywho, you know, of course, Desha is taken aback and he's like, yo, like, what is up with this kid? And basically, when he sees the sword, he's like, did you get that from my brother? And they're like, yes. And so he ends up doing a little hand call thing to Despa and just asking him about Bojji and stuff, whatever. And Despa ends up telling him, like, yo, don't fight Bojji because you're not going to win. And, you know, and you also not going to win against King Boast. And so I'm like, whoa, okay, we're getting a little bit more hype for Bojji here. But anywho, this episode was just overall amazing because then we have Desha end up saying he's recruiting Gagan to join the Order of the Underworld. And he also recruits the pack of like the dog beasts that they tamed a couple episodes ago. And saying basically they're basically reforming and re-strategizing to where they're going to come back. But it seems like they might try to get Bojji to fight King Boast. And then while they're distracted, they'll go after Miranjo. So, yeah. And then from there, the episode just kind of ends with, what's his name? What is the swordsman dude's name? Domas. And so Domas is here trying to, you know, beg for forgiveness and stuff, whatever. But man, just seeing how much heartache and turmoil is going on within Bojji during that moment or whatever, to where it's like, no, like Bojji cannot just, you know, because like for a brief moment, Boji starts to remember the happy times he has with Delmas. But then in turn, it's like, okay, he has the happy memories, but then he also remembers like, yo, you pushed me off into the pits of hell. You know, I'm not supposed to just immediately come and be your friend again, you know? So, and of course, you know, don't blame him. And Boji ends up, you know, running off to run up the stairs back towards the surface or whatever. But yeah, man, it is. This episode was just another fantastic episode of Ranking of Kings. If somehow you are coming across this video out of the blue and you're like, man, what the heck is Ranking of Kings? I'll just say it is something that you need to be watching. Everybody needs to at least watch episode. Matter of fact, I would say this is definitely one to if you follow the 3 episode rule, give it 3 episodes, and then if somehow Boji doesn't have your heart captured, or you are not, you know, do not find yourself enraptured or interested in what's going on with this series, then yeah, maybe it's not for you. But for the most part, everybody that I've talked to that finally gave it a chance falls in love with the series, falls in love with Boji and the various characters and everything that's going on. So yeah, like I said, if somehow you randomly watch this out of context, don't know like what the heck is going on, who these characters are or whatever, I highly encourage you to go back and to watch Ranking of Kings. It is streaming on both Funimation and Crunchyroll, both in sub and English dub. And yeah, this is a fantastic series. And that's going to do it for this one. Now, like I said, just because of the timing of, you know, my life freed up for today or whatever, don't know if I'm going to get to come back and do these again every week. But best believe I will, you know, like I said, tune into my podcast, Dad Needs to Talk podcast, every week, because I do talk about the episodes there, just within the podcast episode. And I have timestamps in my descriptions of those podcast episodes, both video here on YouTube as well as on podcast streaming services everywhere. Check me out and, you know, get more Ranking of Kings talk. And also, if you are on Twitter, this Friday, February 4th, one of my friends, Panda, she is doing a Twitter space where we're going to be talking about Ranking of Kings. So I highly encourage y'all to, if you're on Twitter, come over, join me. It'll be sometime Friday night and join the discussion. Whether you want to come up and speak or you just want to just sit in the room and listen, join us because it's going to be a great time, a great conversation, especially based off of this episode. But anyway, enough of me rambling. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Make sure, if you're not already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on the episode. And be on the lookout for more from me and Ranking of Kings. But y'all be easy. If you're a fellow Texan like me, stay warm. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.